Do I even have this ready? What up, everybody? Yo, it's 7:03 on the eastern seaboard of the United States of America. 6:03, where my co-host and I sit in the Central Time Zone. 5:03 in the mountains, and out west they still in the office because it's like only 4:04. They're not off yet. And this is the NGSC Sports NBA podcast. I'm your host, Ralph Garcia, of course, joined by my co-host, our NBA guy, Jordan Rhea. What up, Jake?
What up, Ralph? What a shocking offseason we've had to start.
Barely got. Anyway, we got another co-host who decided to take. Yeah, look, nah. Go ahead. You got to get something, Brady. What up, Gus? You got sound? We're gonna wait and see. We be real quiet, and if we can't hear Braden, no. Until Braden gets sound, and you had to get something, go ahead, cuz, and then work on your sound. Um, Remember the website, of course, ngscsport.com, where you catch all of your current content. Log on. Sammy Sportface gives us endless summer with Eddie, my endodontist. I ain't got no clue, Jay. You know what I'm saying? He just writes. That's all he do. But they read it. Who is this? Who wrote this? Wait a second. It's one of the interns. Man, I'm loving them interns, boy. They're not. Ooh, I'm loving them interns. Zachary Worster writes, John Oliver renames Erie Seawolves. I think I forgot to put a picture on it. No, I didn't. There it is. He never does. And then Michael Bodzenta gives predicting the MLB NL All-Star game started. All-Star game is getting ready to come up in Major League Baseball. All that and more on NGSCSports.com, where we never stop. Of course, that is the intro. It is the end of the NBA season. And in order to have an end of an NBA season, Jay,
All right. I think it's good
now wait a
now.
minute. Hold on. Oh. Get that out of there. Hey, get that out of there. What's going on here? Hey. There we go. Oh, there you go. What's up, cuz?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, a whole lot going on. So, like I was saying, the NBA season has to end, and when it ends, of course, that means an NBA champion was crowned. Game 7, the NBA Finals in Oklahoma City. Yo, Jay. Hold on. Yeah, because I know y'all felt it, right? Right at the beginning, Halliburton gets off 3 or 4, right? And I don't know about you, but I was like, oh shit. I say, hey, because you know what happens when, hey, if he scores 20, 25 points, Indiana Pacers are shooting for a win, and he started 3 or 4. It was like, oh hell! And then I don't care who you root for. I hope y'all are fans enough that you never root for what happened to Tyrese Halliburton. Man, he goes down when he started slamming his hand on the floor, saying, "No, Jay, yo, I'm gonna give it to you, Jay, while I share the show." Man, my heart broke.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, he started out hot, and then it was just like he kind of went back just a little bit. You saw it, you heard the pop, and he just went down immediately. He's slamming his hand on the floor, and I just kind of lost all sense of enjoyment in that moment. Like I couldn't sit there and really watch the game just knowing that, what if he didn't get injured right there? Could the Pacers have won? Especially with that hot start. But
Yep.
I would just say the energy was kind of out of it was out of the room when Halliburton got hurt. But they were able to put up a fight in the first half. I would give the Pacers that.
What were you feeling? Because you know what I'm saying. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's like you said early on when he hit those first 3 out of 4. So like we're about to have a crazy, amazing, classic, instant classic
Yep.
game 7. But once he went down and they showed the pop on the replay in his calf, everyone knew what it was. Not only is he gonna miss game 7, he's gonna be out the whole next season. Yeah, it sucked. It took me, I think, till halftime to get back in it emotionally. Like it was.
Yeah, you couldn't.
It was very tough.
Nah, you couldn't, man. It took, like you said, because it was one of the moments where you were thinking, okay, because we seen what happened to Denver in Game 7, right? Was it Denver? No, Memphis. Or was it Memphis in game? No, it was Memphis in Game 7 against Oklahoma City, right?
Denver.
Not Memphis, Denver. They blew them out by 33, something like that. Right. So everybody was expecting thunder. Some people were picking the Pacers, right? I was like, damn, boy, they're going to, like you said, because they're going to make this. But it lasted for a half, Jay. And look, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP for a reason, right? They talk about this guy like when he was with the Clippers, you think about what the Clippers were thinking. Because everybody makes mistakes, right? And obviously the Clippers made a damn big mistake right here. But he comes to Oklahoma City, quiet. He's a quiet guy. I heard it this morning. He got 5 trophies in one season. He got all 5 that mattered, like the scoring title, the league MVP, the Western Conference MVP, the Finals MVP, and an NBA title to top that off. I was gonna say, Jay, and he got his bag.
Yeah, 4 years, $285 million. I believe it is a rising contract, so it's not going to be steady throughout. But I mean, if you average that out, I think he's getting roughly like $900,000, per game a season. It's just ridiculous to think about that. We're getting to the point where somebody.
That's not even funny. That ain't even funny for real, though. That's not funny.
Right. I forgot who it was. I think it might have been Devin Booker. Might be eligible next season or next offseason for a contract that's would be higher in terms of what he'd be making per year or per game. It's just ridiculous. We're getting to the point where you can make almost $1 million per game. But obviously, the player he is worthy of a supermax deal.
You got to understand that when Mike signed the contract, he got $30 million. Hey, all eyes lit up like, oh, Mike got $30 million a year. SGA getting $70 million a year.
Let's say $30 million per year is for a good starter.
Yeah. The Raptors point guard Emmanuel Quickly makes $32 million a year, and he's like a solid role player. $32 million.
Solid role player. He played on the Knicks, and I forgot about his ass. And he's making $32 million a year. I'll be damned. Oh man! But look, let's. One of the things they talked about, I think we talked about it here before, right? That the NBA every decade has a dynasty. Every decade they got a dynasty. And it looks like they're about to have another one. Because you got this young core, SGA is signed. Holmgren, Jalen Williams, they're gonna have to wait. They're still on their rookie contract, so they're gonna have to wait. I think another year before they get theirs. Eventually, the apron is gonna hit them. But for like the next, I don't know, 5, 6 years, they got SGA for 6 years. Next 5 years, Jay, Oklahoma City looking like they might be that next dynasty for this decade.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're in such an era of parity now, where it's 7 seasons in a row with a new champion.
7.
And yeah, Holmgren is still on his rookie deal. I believe J-Dub's still on his rookie deal too. But like you said, that CBA is going to come and get him, rather quickly. So I think they'll be in contention, but everybody has a real legitimate chance to be in contention with the way the CBA works now.
But Braden, the thing with Oklahoma City and Sam Presti is the way he's done it, right? We tried this before with Durant, Westbrook, and Harden. Durant left and everything just went awry. Now, Braden, yeah, he's got those salaries he's going to have to pay to J-Dub and to Chet Holmgren. But even when it comes time to decide, what we're going to do, man, Oklahoma City is stocked with number one draft pick. I think they got 10 number ones in the next 5 years. I don't know. I think they set pretty damn good. They do this right, and he's been doing it right.
Yeah, I think they're set as well. The only problem is they play in the West, which means if they were in the East, I would pick them to go to the finals for probably the next 3 to 5 years, given the talent in the respective conferences. But I can see the Thunder getting into a situation where they play Houston in the Western Conference Finals and they lose that. And it's like, dang, we think another team is going to win a second straight title like we have with the Nuggets and Celtics, which I both thought the Nuggets and Celtics were going back to back. But I do think the Thunder are the team who's best equipped to start a dynasty because Chet and J-Dub are they're going in their 4th year. All of the young players on that roster should get better. And if they need to make a trade, iHeart has $30 million that you could trade for someone. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's something, Louis. It's a bad connection here, which is why I didn't get it to you. I'm gonna have to hook up. I told the guys the Ethernet, so I'll see you on the baseball show. But please comment, Louis. You always comment. So anyway, as we finish up, we talk about Oklahoma City now being set. Well, what is free agency for? Free agency is for teams to measure who won the NBA championship and what do we have to do, Jay, to get better. And one of the teams that decided to go all in to get themselves better and now find themselves with the second best odds to win the NBA title, at least right now, of course, the Houston Rockets acquiring Kevin Durant. And you take Durant with that because they still maintain basically that core that they got, that young core they got. And people talking about Durant's age. Can y'all please stop it, man? He got 36. He's going to be 30. Hey, I'm going to you first, Braden. He's 36, 37 years old. He's too old. Dude, he's still better than 85%, 90% of the players in the NBA anyway. He's still probably the deadliest scorer in this freaking era. So all this talk, hey, look, Braden, the Rockets, they made the move. They got Ime Udoka locked up. They could be a problem.
Yeah, like you're saying, 36, 37, he'll give you 30 on 50, 40, 90 every season. You can't guard him. So it's like, I don't care how old he is. Unless he starts to decline, then the age will matter. But with the Rockets, they got KD. They signed Dorian Finney-Smith from the Lakers. They also somehow got Clint Capella. Okay, I'm going to say this. I don't know if the Rockets have all of this money. I don't know where all of this money is coming from. I thought the DFS signing was the last big thing, but then they give 8 million or 7 to Clint Capella, which now they have a 3-headed monster with centers, Sengun, Adams, Capella, and their whole team is like 10, 11 deep. It's honestly scary because all they did was swap Jalen Green for Kevin Durant and Dylan Brooks for Dorian Finney-Smith.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. So Jay, when you look at the Rockets, okay, they needed a big man defender. They, with as much talent as they have, just didn't add that big punch for a scorer. Now they got it in Kevin Durant. And as we talked about this dynasty that might be brewing in Oklahoma City, hey, I don't know, Jay, early on, and think about it, Durant going to be playing with purpose.
Yeah, obviously to start, Kevin Durant, age really doesn't matter. I mean, he is one of the best pure scorers in the league. So I think his game is going to age just fine. You pair him with guys obviously like Alperen Sengun, like you mentioned, Fred VanVleet. You still got Jabari Smith Jr. And then, as Braden mentioned, you add a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith. That's going to make them, a rather deep team. So I think we're looking at one of the best equipped challenges for the Thunder. But yeah, as you mentioned, I mean, we're kind of at that point in Kevin Durant's career where this is probably the end for him, and he still feels that he has a point to prove.
No, yeah.
He's not playing with Steph Curry anymore. He's not playing with a guy like Kyrie Irving or Devin Booker. These guys that are championship contending players, but he's the perfect fit for this team, especially with all the youth you have and a veteran on a rather good deal. So I'm excited to see what they can do. And, as we both mentioned so far, I mean, you also got to feel bad for Phoenix and Devin Booker in this situation. Because, I mean, they just they got the worst end of the deal. I don't know how you make Jalen Green work next to Devin Booker, but they'll figure it out, I guess. They have to.
And Braden, with one more thing about Kevin Durant now. Think about this. There's no question. Number one, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Number two, Jesus, for the love of God, man. This is like probably the most gifted, pure scorer we've ever seen to just do it the way he's done it. But, Braden, if he goes to Houston, let's just say he got 2 years. I give Durant 2, maybe 3 if he can, push out a third year. And he doesn't deliver. And by the way, Kevin Durant, it is up to you to deliver the Houston Rockets an NBA championship. If he don't do that, Braden, he didn't do it in Houston. He didn't do it in Oklahoma City. He didn't do it in Phoenix. And he left Golden State where he might still be winning championship. That's going to tarnish. I don't care what they say. That's going to tarnish his legacy. I don't care what he say.
Yeah. Well, okay. The thing is, I don't think we're expecting him to win a title in Houston, but with the team he has, if he doesn't make a Western Conference Finals, I would look at that as a huge disappointment, because I think we're at the point where we know what Kevin Durant is. He needs a lot of help to win a championship. He kind of needs a super team to win a championship. So even with all the talent he has, I still wouldn't pick him to beat the Thunder, if we're being honest, because we haven't seen him beat a team like that.
On his own.
Without a DPOY in Draymond, a Finals MVP in Iggy, a Hall of Famer in Clay, the greatest shooter all time with Curry, and then Curry's the coach. Yeah.
Why, yo, Jay? Why you leave Golden State, dude? Why the fuck you leave Golden State? All you had to do is think, how many titles? No, seriously, how many titles would they have by now if you would go 6, 7? I mean, damn. When you saw Kevin Durant on the court with Steph Curry, it is bad enough that you got Steph Curry, the absolute greatest shooter of all time. And then you pair him up with Kevin Durant, and just for the hell of it, you throw Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. First of all, Klay don't leave. You find a way to keep these 4 guys together. Come on, Jay. Oh, man.
You know what? The crazy thing, I saw there were reports that right before the deadline that they were talking about Kevin Durant being traded to the Warriors, and he's the one who turned it down.
Yeah, he turned
and
it down.
You know why? You know why? He doesn't want to play with Draymond Green. And if I'm Mike Dunleavy Jr. in the front office, and I have the option to have Kevin Durant or Draymond Green get Steph Curry a 5th title, I would take Kevin Durant over Draymond Green, but I'm not Mike Dunleavy. So
you're an athlete, okay? I'm just gonna speak for myself, okay? I'm in Kevin Durant's shoes, and I'm gonna go to the Warriors, and Braden is playing the role of Steph Curry, and Jordan is playing the role of Draymond Green. And somebody asked me, "You want to go back to Golden State?" I mean, I know you don't like Draymond. My answer is, fuck not liking Draymond. I don't give a damn who I like or who I don't like. I'm in this for one reason only. After hooping, because I get to hoop all the time, I'm in this for one reason: to lift the Larry O'Brien trophy. I'm here to win NBA championships. So who gives a damn or who like who? And if that's what got in Kevin Durant's way, then damn, for such a great player, Kevin Durant done got in his way a lot. Because let's agree on one thing. A guy like Kevin Durant, man, how many titles he got? 2? That boy should have 5 or 6.
Yeah, like the thing about him not liking Draymond is weird to me that reason is the reason that he's not on the Warriors, because we go to work with people that we don't like all the time. Well, I won't say all the time, but like it happens in life. Kobe and Shaq hated each other. 3-peat. They
couldn't stand each other.
They 3-peated while they hated each other.
Sat their asses on that damn bench and said, "Fuck it, boy. We want titles. I can't stand your ass, but damn, you better win." And in the end, they ended up loving and respecting each other, right?
LeBron, Wade, Chris Bosh was always going crazy at Mario Chalmers. What they do, back-to-back titles. So it gets to a point if you're in Kevin Durant's shoes, you just say, forget not liking Draymond. You know he's a competitor. Just go there and win titles.
That's all. I mean, I don't understand that shit. I don't understand, because if he goes to Golden State at the trade deadline when they made the offer, whenever the hell that is, if he goes to Golden State, number one, there's no Jimmy Butler, but Kevin Durant is back with Steph Curry. Steph Curry's at the point in his career where, at first, when it was him and Durant together with the other guys, it was unfair, right? Because it was like a bunch of gazelles just running in the field like, I want to catch one. Good luck with that shit, because you ain't going to get one. At this stage, I think it would have been so much more of a compliment, because it's the later stages of their career, right? They can't run that like they used to. They're not as fast as they used to. And for Steph Curry to be sitting around here like, I'm going to give it to Kevin. Kevin shoot, boom. And Kevin's like, shit, but not to be. And if that's the case, Kevin Durant, I know I'm going to be talking about you for the rest of my life. And when I mention Kevin Durant's name, no disrespect to him, I ain't going to be talking about his titles first. I'm going to be talking about how many teams he went to and didn't win a title. And it's sad that we said it, right? Braden, you said it. It's like he needs a super team. He almost needs a super team to win. Speaking of moves, So check it out. When this one came on the screen, it first came on the screen that the Milwaukee Bucks were signing Miles Turner from the Indiana Pacers, right? And we know enough basketball, so the first thing I thought of was, well, hold on, they ain't got the money. Like, I mean, literally, they don't have the money. So, like, what are they doing? Never thinking about the other shoe that was about to drop. So that was the first thing. So even on the shows and the podcasts I would listen to as it happened, like, and then the other shoe dropped. The Milwaukee Bucks have waived Damian Lillard, freeing up $113 million on his contract, and they're going to use $107 million of that to sign Miles Turner. Jay, people are saying, which is pretty obvious, in an attempt to show Giannis that they go ahead, Jay, man. I know you're right, Jay. I know, man. Let it out, man. You gonna say it better than me, dude.
You know, so when I first saw that Miles Turner was going to the Bucks, I was a little bit surprised. You know, just kind of figured, okay, he'll be back with Indiana. He always ends up staying with Indiana. But
Right. First, why did he leave? Right. Why did he leave? Damn.
To be fair, he had a pretty bad finals performance, and that's kind of the last thing, you know, we saw of him. But yeah, like you had said, when you saw that he had been signed to the Bucks, a lot of people were like, okay, where's this money coming from? We know Brook Lopez went to the Clippers. That's fine. And then them waving Dame came along, and I was just out of nowhere, you know. And there are a lot of people questioning loyalty and trying to please Giannis and all of this. And it's, you know, for Dame, I've seen reports that he's happy to have been waived so he can go, you know, rehab and then, you know, pick a contender to play for, which is perfectly fine. But at the same time, you tore your Achilles and they pretty much just they just dumped you, you know, and it looks bad on their part. You know, it's a shame to see Damian Lillard, of all people, you know, a player that many have called loyal for well over a decade, to be just kind of waived like that. But
yeah,
this makes no sense for the Milwaukee Bucks.
No,
I don't know what they're doing.
I don't get it, Braden. Now, on the thing I want to touch on a little bit what Jay said, because about Dollar Dame, at least for him, he's free. He wasn't gonna play. Now he don't have to rush because these injuries, man. These guys, I'll be back in February. I'll be back in this. But at least Dame don't have to worry about that right now. But a point was brought up on one of the shows earlier today. If Dame, because he gets paid and he's free to go anywhere he wants, he gets to pick his team. Perfect situation. Boy, if Dame comes back sometime in late March or April and get to sign with a contender, yo, cuz, damn. And who would that contender might be?
Yeah, at first when all this happened, I was just shocked because I thought that Turner was gonna be a Pacer for life. He was gonna be like a Pacers.
Yeah, yeah.
He's been through everything. But so yeah, he goes to Milwaukee, and when it was announced that they cut Dame, I was like, dang, that sucks for him, especially mentally. You tore your Achilles, now you got cut. But then I was thinking after he gets over the mental hurdle, he's getting paid $22 million for 5 years by a team that he's not employed on. So he's just making $22 million free M's for 5 seasons. I'm like, okay, and he gets to sign with any team. So if I'm Dame, I would probably wait till, like, you know, February and then sign on a contender like that.
And he could sign for a minimum. He could sign for fucking NBA. He could sign for a veteran minimum just to help a squad, Jay. You know what I'm saying? That'd be a hell of an asset to have. Because if you get Dame back at 75%, I'd take it for a playoff run.
Right. And I mean, I've already seen some stuff, the Lakers are interested, the Warriors are interested, the Heat are interested. And I mean, the Warriors and Lakers, they very well may be contenders, by the time February or March comes around if he's healthy. So,
Right.
you can get Dame on a, like you said, a minimum deal. Even at 75%, he's still a great scorer. And coming off the bench, Damian Lillard coming off the bench would be deadly.
That's it right there. I forgot to mention that part. He's gonna come off the bench. And, wow. Hey, who's your sixth man coming off the bench? 6, 7 man. I got Dame Lillard. I got Dame Lillard on. Hey, hey. So that's going to be interesting. And for the Milwaukee Bucks, Braden, I still don't see. Even though Giannis posted some cryptic shit, I still don't see no reason for Giannis. 12 years, man. I think 12 years. Yeah, 12 years he's been with the Bucks. He's been loyal. He done the same Dame shit, except he won himself a title. I don't think that this should not gonna hold him. He ain't got no reason to stay. He should get out.
Yeah, I do agree, but it seems like everything he's doing, he's like just putting pressure on the front office to make moves. Because if he really wanted to leave, he would just request a trade. It's that simple. Like he wants to stay in Milwaukee, so he's just saying all that stuff to put pressure on the front office. But with that being said, I just don't think any of these moves are going to do anything really. They just don't have the athletes on their roster, the talent on their roster, the draft pool. They don't own their picks till about 2030, 31. And if Miles Turner, who is currently their second best player, that's not going to do anything. It's not.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's an upgrade from Brook Lopez,
Yeah.
but he's not a difference making upgrade. Not for Giannis. They ain't got nobody else there, Jay, to help. I mean, shit.
I'm just kind of looking at it. I'll be honest, their roster's kind of garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Bobby Portis. He's maybe the only valuable trade piece you have now. Torian Prince, Gary Trent Jr., Kevin Porter Jr., and Kyle Kuzma. That's basically it. I mean, the weak East, I suppose Giannis can drag him to, maybe a third seed, maybe second round of the playoffs alone, but they're not a true contender, and it's just,
Dude, you didn't even make you didn't even make me flinch when you said all them names. I didn't even flinch. It didn't do shit to me.
Is Kyle Kuzma their third best player? Wait, no. It would be cool.
Right. And then the Indiana Pacers. So you just came up this short of an NBA title. One of your key cogs has been Miles Turner. Yeah, he had a bad playoff, but I like, wow. And what this does, no, I ain't gonna do it yet because we got one more. Because then I want to talk about the East. Because look, guys, yo, the balance of power in the East right now. Yeah, I can mention my Knicks and some other things, but I mean, there's been a seismic shift in the East, and the East all of a sudden. So the Celtics, Drew Holiday. I knew Porzingis was gone. I just knew he was gone. I knew that unicorn was gonna get packed up in some big ass suitcase and shipped away. He goes to the Hawks. There's no Jason Tatum, Jay. Now it's Jaylen Brown's team, and now you're looking at a Boston Celtics team that several years ago, Eastern Conference Finals, NBA title, and you're thinking they're gonna make some noise for a minute. All of a sudden, the Boston Celtics look like a middle of the road team.
Right. As you mentioned, Porzingis to the Atlanta Hawks, Drew Holiday to the Portland Trailblazers. You get back Anthony Simons, which not a bad acquisition. Another 3-point shooter, high volume. So you really you lost some of your defensive cogs. I mean, you still have Derek White, but this is going to be a real offense heavy team going into next season. And like you mentioned, you're not going to have Jason Tatum. Maybe he comes back in maybe the last 20 or so games if he's lucky, but I can't see them being a true contender. I could see them being a playoff lock with just how weak the East is, but this isn't a team that I would see playing into May and June.
Nah, nah. And then now, Jay, I mean Braden, what this does with the Celtics making this move, you look at the East, the Boston Celtics falling off some. Philadelphia 76ers, I don't even know what to say about 76ers. I let y'all talk about it. They done confused the hell out of me for the last couple of years. And yeah, they got Embiid, but Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, so let's see what they're going to do. Detroit Pistons up and coming. Pacers done fell back. Bucks done fell back. Hawks is not an issue. Orlando Magic, they done a couple of things. So we done had all this mix going on in the East. I don't know. How you looking at the East for next year? Because you would think, Braden, and we'll talk about the Knicks, of course, apparently hiring Mike Brown, you would think that the Knicks would be the front runners along with the Cavs.
Yeah, I would say I'll probably have the Knicks at 1, in my opinion. It might sound shocking, but we got to be honest with ourselves here.
No.
The Cavs haven't made it out of the second round since LeBron left. You got the Pistons who are up and coming. The Magic, they added Bane, but it's like we haven't seen them really do anything yet. So I like the Knicks, and they're hiring Mike Brown. So it's like at that point you could have just kept Tom Thibodeau, but that's neither here nor
there. You know I got something to say about all that.
Yeah. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, so the hierarchy, top 2, Cavs, Knicks, everything else is after them, in my opinion.
I mean, Jay, because now teams that we thought, by the way, another thing I heard, this was on a podcast. Speaking of the Cleveland Cavaliers, it's a team that 60 some odd wins, they were a juggernaut. Remember when we started the season? I told y'all it wouldn't last. Well, shit, it lasted a whole damn regular season. But some dude brought it up. He's from Cleveland. He was calling in. He said, let me tell you what's wrong with my Cleveland Cavaliers. They're a strong regular season team. Somewhere along the line, as the season winds down, somebody cuts their heart out because they sure ain't got one when it comes playoff time. So I don't have a lot of confidence in the Cleveland Cavaliers just for that. What Braden said, they can't even find their way out of the second round. Even with Donovan Mitchell, they can't find their way out of the second round. And then Orlando, Desmond Bane, by the way, you'll never live up to the picks, bro. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, like you mentioned with the Cavs, I mean, they haven't been out of the second round since LeBron was there. Donovan Mitchell has a track record of just kind of, I don't want to say disappearing in the playoffs, but he's not the same player, No. So I think there are concerns there. Will they finish towards the top of the East? Yeah, probably. They're one of the only teams that's really coming back from last season that's about the same. But, give Detroit some credit, give Orlando some credit. I think they'll be dark horse contenders. They may finish top 4 in this week East, but
Detroit's getting close.
I think they're a piece away.
Right. They're getting close. They're a year or two away from being there. They keep the core and they keep it going the way they're going. They got a great coach over there. They got a chance to make some noise.
And give Orlando credit with the Desmond Bane trade. Yes, I mean, the amount of picks is ridiculous, but at the same time, they may not get another chance with how weak the East is going to be next year. Because you expect Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum to be back for the 26-27 season.
And they got a nice little young core too.
Exactly.
Banchero, Suggs, Franz Wagner. Now you got Desmond Bain.
Anthony
Exactly.
Black.
I mean,
Yeah, they got a nice little
have a chance.
Now, I remember the NBA draft that started with the number one pick in the NBA draft. The Phoenix Suns select center DeAndre Ayton. Not that he made a lot of noise in college, but college is where you get to look like a beast because you play amongst boys. Yes, DeAndre Ayton was a part of the Phoenix Suns finals team that got their ass whooped. But yo, Braden, me and Jay were talking before the show. So DeAndre Ayton signs with, should it say DeAndre Ayton signs with the Lakers or the Lakers settle for DeAndre Ayton?
It's somewhere in the middle because I think the Lakers wanted to trade for a starting center, but the price range wasn't in what they could give up because they don't have the assets to make a huge trade. So, but with the price range of $8 million a year, I would say that's probably an A signing. If you know what you're getting in DeAndre Ayton, you're getting a slightly above average center that has the talent to be a all-star big, but has the effort of someone that is just playing because he's 7 foot tall and he can make $30 million. Which is why he said when he was drafted, his goal is to make his second contract, and clearly his effort stopped showing after he got his second contract. So as long as the Lakers know what they're getting themselves into, some high effort and low effort nights every game, every other game, then yes.
Jay, I used to run into the pole, the basket pole where the basket was on. I would run into the pole. I would scrape my knee. I was one of them crazy defensive guys on the court. Man, I drove blood on my elbows and my knees and bust my face. You know, people be like, "Yo, man, sure, I don't give a man. I'm playing. If they paid me 30 million, I mean, you paid me $15 million. I'll put a blanket around your ass, and so help me God, you ain't never gonna have to ask me to hustle or nothing." Which gets me to what Braden said. You remember too, Braden, what he said when he wanted to make it to a second contract. That's the kind of shit a brother needs to be slapped in the face for saying, "Dude, what? You playing for what?" Well, you know what? You got paid. And Jay, it ain't gonna work out, by the way, because DeAndre Ayton doesn't prove that his lazy ass ain't gonna do. And I want you to touch on something else before we get off here, because we're gonna have to go around this on this. Then they start talking about what's her name, LeBron's agent, talking about he want to do what's best for LeBron, that they understand, that LeBron understand they're building for the future. People talking about might be trade. What? Huh?
All right, so there's a lot to unpack there. First of all,
yeah.
I want to say the funniest thing I saw after Ayton got signed with the Lakers was a Bleacher Report calling them a big three. You know, I'm sorry, DeAndre Ayton is not a big three caliber player.
He ain't even a G in big.
Right, and here's the thing. If DeAndre Ayton went to any of the 28 other teams that weren't the Lakers or Portland, obviously, they wouldn't be calling it a big three. It's a big three, because it's the Lakers. Okay, we've seen it for years. DeAndre Ayton does not play defense. Okay, a guy like Nikola Jokic will eat him for dinner. Okay, that's that's a 30 points easily for a guy like Jokic. So yeah, like you had mentioned earlier, they were settling. They were settling. They wanted a guy like a Brook Lopez or a Steven Adams, maybe a Miles Turner. But yeah, they got what was left on the market, and yeah, he doesn't have the best work ethic. We've seen that. I mean, he's been called out by players, by coaches. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to work
There
out.
it is. Yeah, there it is. There it
And
is. You've
like
been
you mentioned
called
before,
out.
when going back a little bit, when Luka got traded to the Lakers, it became his team. The focus should be on building for Luka, not LeBron, because LeBron's maybe got what 1-2 years left.
That's
At
it.
max.
Realistically, exactly. The focus needs to be on building a contender around Luka Doncic. We know LeBron's not going to get traded this offseason. It's keeping him in the media. It's keeping people talking about him. We see this every year with Rich Paul players. It's how it works. But
Yo,
Aiden's not
B,
going to work.
yo, B. If he get traded, and you catch that shit on social media, man, you gotta wake my ass up so we can wake Jay up and go on like right then and there.
Instant. 3 in the morning. Well, the thing, if a team would trade for him, how do you come up with 52 million to trade for LeBron and not give up like a star or two?
Well, you also have to clear an extra spot for Bronny. So
I was on. You know what?
I forgot
Right.
about the package. The package. It's a package deal.
I didn't think about that till like 2 days later, till yesterday, and I was like, "Well, what happens to Bronny? I mean, he went out of his way because, by the way, people, if anybody don't think that the 55th pick of last year's NBA draft was not arranged ahead of time, you just ain't been paying attention. Okay, that didn't happen by fucking chance. But yeah, what happens to Bronny? Uh, he could take his dad's spot in LA.
I've seen in like every hypothetical trade, they have LeBron James and Bronny packaged for whatever offer. So wherever LeBron goes, Bronny's packaged to go alongside with him.
You know something, y'all? I would never want to do it. I don't understand what LeBron's doing. I would never want to do that to my kid. Never. I mean, that's just me, man. I would never want to do. I don't want you playing with me. I understand the significance of what it must feel like, but this is the NBA, and I'm LeBron James. Just son, I hope you live up to me and you surpass what I am. But even I gotta admit, I'm one of the greatest to ever do it. So how the fuck is he supposed to live up to his daddy? And now what you just said, I thought the Bleacher Report shit, Big Three, was funny. That's real funny. All these packages that include LeBron and Bronny,
because it's real. It's real. It would happen.
Right.
Right. Bronny's going with him.
Yo, Jay, and if you Bronny, you don't feel in any way if you Bronny like, or somebody whisper in the boy ear, you gonna follow your daddy everywhere? This is how it's gonna be. So if your daddy played 3 more years and he played for 3 more teams, you're gonna take care, you're gonna find at what point you decide you're gonna be your own man and your own NBA player? Because if I'm Bronny, I'm telling daddy, your pop, wherever you going, you leave me be so I can make my own mark.
Yeah, it's just a bad look. It really is on all sides. I mean,
look, man.
It makes LeBron look bad. It makes Bronny look like he's just following his dad just to keep his position in the NBA. But it's just like it's how it is. That's how it is, and that's how it's going to be until LeBron calls it quits.
And then what? Is Bronny gonna quit? I got it. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Bronny gets drafted, plays with his daddy. His daddy plays 3 years. LeBron James retires. And then right next to him on the podium is Bronny announcing his retirement from the NBA. Think about it, y'all. So LeBron James retires, right? So he retires. First thing is, so what happened? Where's Bronny? Is Bronny with him? Where he's at? More importantly, what happens to Bronny James now? because he didn't. Now, I think what's going to be better is his little brother is going to have a better path because he ain't going to have to worry about his daddy being there, although his daddy will be by his side. But for Bronny James, once his daddy's gone, he's built no identity. He going to be in the NBA 3-4 years with his daddy gone. And he ain't built shit. Nothing. I don't understand that. I pushed my son in the pool, man. He was like 6 years old. Man, he about to drown. The lifeguard wanted to go get him. I said, man, don't touch my kid. Sir, he drowning. I know. Then I went and got him. And what's the point I'm making? Let the kid go, man. If he gets in deep water, Bronny, he'll swim his way out of it, okay? I mean, shit. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. But I know one thing. I remember when the LeBron James era had not begun, and it's about to end real soon. Damn, I'm getting old. Shit. Now, so the Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau. Oh, by the way, let me preface this by saying what I'm about to say has nothing to do with Mike Brown. Mike Brown, you are a 4-time NBA champion as an assistant coach. You took the Cleveland Cavaliers to the NBA Finals. I don't care that you got swept. You took them there. Yeah, you had LeBron in the crew. You have coached. This man has coached a lot of the great players, great superstars. So it's not about his resume. It got nothing to do with that, Mike Brown. Nothing to do with that. It's got a lot to do with James fucking Dolan. That's what it's got a lot to do with. Because that's who put this in motion. I would have felt better if you would have just said sorry and rehired Tom Thibodeau. That's where I would have felt better. Because think about it. The Knicks just fired the coach that took them to the Eastern Conference Final for the first time in a quarter century. Didn't Mike Brown just take a team? Didn't Mike Brown just take a certain team to the playoffs and then got his ass fired? So you just fired a guy for taking you further than you've been in a quarter century to hire the guy that took the Sacramento Kings to heights they hadn't seen in 2 decades, and then they fired him. So I just fired the white Mike Tibbs and I hired the black Mike Tibbs. I don't understand what the fuck the Knicks are doing. And by the way, y'all, they settled. Think about it. Mike Brown, no disrespect. Braden, no disrespect, Braden. But turns out Mike Brown was like what? Choice number 12? That's what it feel like.
Yeah, it seems once they stopped trying to steal a team's head coach, they said, you know what, let's just take this coach that was a 4-time champion as an assistant. He's been there as an assistant, even though Tom Thibodeau was on the Celtics staff with Doc Rivers in 2008. Neither here nor there. It's clearly James Dolan fingerprints all over it. He fired Tibbs. He thought he could do better. He couldn't do better, so he settled for worse.
And don't get me wrong, Jay. I like the hire. Out of the guys that were out there to be interviewed, names, some of them I didn't even hear before, barely heard. And I don't want to hear about this retread shit, okay? It ain't no damn coach's fault that he labeled a retread. I like the hire. The problem, Jay, is Mike Brown's expectations have already been set. You have to make it to the NBA Finals, bro. Otherwise, you didn't do shit.
Right. And like you said, it all goes back to James Dolan. I mean, Mike Brown, like you said, he could take him to the finals. He might. He probably won't, if we're being honest, with just the way everything goes. But, you know, I didn't see how long the contract is, but I don't see him making it past 2 years. You know, I think if he makes a full season, that's lucky with the owner's expectations, but you know, it's the best you could get in the situation, I suppose.
that would be a damn shame because then the only other coach they can hire, if he don't make it past next year, the only other coach you can hire that'll make sense is Jesus Christ. Who the hell you gonna hire behind? I mean, you don't screw up. And look at what Jay said. You fired Tibbs, and the first thing you went after was coach it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got divorced. Man, I couldn't wait to get rid of her. Man, I swear to God, I'm glad this marriage is over. What are you gonna do now that you're divorced? What do you think? I'm gonna go after married women. What? I mean, it's like, you know what I'm saying? The stupidity of it. And then you ask the guy, what happened with the married women? Man, they all turned me down. So what are you gonna do now? Shit, I'm just gonna get me some hand me down. I gotta get me some somewhere. So I'm just gonna. And then when you don't get it, it's like, so what are you gonna do now? Well, I had a guy in mind all along. Just wait. Mike Brown. Yeah. I Y'all don't know how hard it is to be a Knicks fan. Y'all just don't know how hard it is to be a Knicks fan. It's like, you know how we taught and we raised, we not to hate. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate anybody. But if I did, James Dolan definitely would be one of those, man. Definitely. So now what, Braden? I mean, again, Brown's got to make it to the NBA Finals. If he don't make it to the NBA Finals, what happens if the Knicks get eliminated in the second round? What are you gonna do? You gonna fire Mike Brown? Because you have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
I've been thinking, what happens if he doesn't make the NBA Finals? Like, do you bring him back, or are we just gonna fire him like we did Tibbs? Which they shouldn't have fired Tibbs for making ECF.
If you don't make the finals, you gotta fire him. You
But
fire Tibbs.
If the standard's already set that you're gonna fire a coach that can't take you to the finals,
Right.
and if he doesn't make the finals year one, I don't know if his job is safe.
And then you fire him and you hire a new coach. And when he don't make the finals, you fire him. And the one after that don't make it. You might as well just go through. By the way, there was talk with the New York Knicks supposedly talk to Dawn Staley. If they would have hired her, I might feel better than them hiring Mike Brown. Mike, that's nothing against you, like I said. Nothing against you. But like we said earlier, when you look at the Eastern Conference, first you have to think the Indiana Pacers, because the Indiana Pacers is the Eastern Conference representative in the NBA Finals that just happened. But unfortunately, with Halliburton and Miles Turner, shit done happened. So now it ain't looking like the Pacers. You go to the next team, which is the team the Pacers beat, which is the New York Knicks. You put them as a front runner. So you put him as a front runner. You give Mike Brown the job. It's like, I would feel better if he don't make the finals, fire him, get another coach. Don't make the final, fire him. Maybe while the Thunder are winning 5 consecutive NBA titles, the Knicks could go through 5 consecutive different coaches. I don't know. That's where we are. Before we get to final thoughts, brothers, I want to make sure that there ain't no other, deals or other stuff that happened that I didn't talk about that you wanted to talk. Hey, by the way, the Denver Nuggets got better. So while we're talking about Oklahoma City and Houston in the West, let's remember that a supposed weaker Denver Nugget team, they almost beat Oklahoma City. So Braden got something to say. I see you. Look.
Yeah, I love what the Nuggets did. They traded MPJ for Cam Johnson, who is essentially a more consistent version of MPJ with a lower ceiling, high floor, low ceiling. He's going to give you 12 to 15 points, hit 3 to 4 threes, a good cutter, a better defender. And then the other trades, they trade for Jonas Valanciunas essentially for free. That's a nice backup.
Yeah, that was good.
For like 15 minutes a game, you're getting high quality backup minutes.
It
And then they
really
made,
helped Jokic. Yep.
and then a sneaky signing, Tim Hardaway Jr. Like, wow, the Nuggets are cooking. Like, it's
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You be careful because while we talking, Jay, about Thunder repeating or Houston Rockets, and Denver Nuggets gonna have something to say about it, y'all.
Yeah,
Never
no,
does.
I think they had a really good free agency so far. I mean, they also brought back Bruce Brown, which I mean, he spent some time on the Raptors. I think he finished the season with New Orleans. I'm pretty sure, but that was another high energy guy that'll definitely help coming off the bench. I don't think they're going to be re-signing Russell Westbrook just by the sound of it, but yeah, I mean I would say them and the Atlanta Hawks are probably the two have had the two best off seasons so far.
Yeah,
I mean,
but for me, the Atlanta Hawks, they like the Cleveland Cavaliers. They got no heart. They got no playoff heart, man.
I would say they went from playing lock to maybe you
second.
know 6 seed at best.
Six seed.
If everything goes right,
I
but
agree. No, I agree. I agree. I agree. Just I said it's hard to be a Knicks fan, y'all, because I keep looking now and I'm thinking, damn, and I'll save that for my final thought. Braden, final thoughts.
Um, the off season has already been pretty exciting. I can't wait for the season to start back. Honestly,
Damn, cuz, calm down, bro. It just ended. You're gonna have to wait a little. You're gonna have to wait just a little bit, though. Jay, final thoughts.
yeah, kind of like you with your Knicks. Just kind of suffering as a Bulls fan. Please do something. Don't trade away Kobe White for nothing because you seem to trade away everybody for nothing. But I would like to see the Bulls compete for a championship someday, but they're competing to stay under the luxury tax.
I used to say that for a long time. I still say it. So when you look at the Knicks, I go back to okay, what got Tibbs fired? I think him being forced to use his bench that exposed him to the organization in the way of damn, damn, we had something there, and had he used it, but I also look at when Jalen Brunson was out, and I saw the ball moving around, a lot of players touching it, a lot of motion. As soon as Jalen Brunson came back, and again, obviously, no knock to my king of New York, Jalen Brunson, but it exposed the weakness of the Knicks because even though you have Jalen Brunson and Carl Anthony Towns on the floor, offensively, defensively, together, they're a liability, and the numbers don't lie. You could talk about what you've seen when you look at the numbers, the plus minuses, the efficiency of the Knicks on the floor when Towns and Jalen are on the floor as opposed to when they're not. Sometimes you wonder, holy shit, but these two guys are the best players. It's up to Mike Brown now. Number one, it's up to Leon Rose and Brown to fill out this roster. Got some players there that got to go. Got to get some complementary players in. But the idea for Mike Brown is you got a bench, bro, use it. And Mike Brown uses his bench, by the way. Mike Brown uses his bench. I like the way Mike Brown calls the game, the way he utilizes his players. Let's find out the connection that they had to Tibbs, or maybe they didn't. Because I'm going to tell you something as a Knicks fan. I'll tell it to you straight. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And I don't give a damn about getting to the NBA Finals because we should have been in the NBA Finals this year. So I don't want to hear that shit. You got to win an NBA championship. You have a roster all set. Who's going to stop you? Oklahoma City Thunder. We'll see if Kevin Durant if the Rockets can get there. The Knicks have to come out of the East. You have to come out of the East because if you don't come out of the East, people like me, Stephen A. Smith, and other hardcore rabid New York fans are going to be talking so much shit about y'all like we do every fucking year, and our dislike and for some hatred of James Dolan will continue to grow. It's like the Knicks feel like they it's like you know that fine chick, you know what I'm saying? She's not that fine. She's not that fine. She got a nice face. And she got a decent body too. And you look at her. You can't help but look at her because she looked that good. But she's not that fine. Okay? She's not as fine as she thinks she is. She's not as fine as she portrays herself to be. And she damn sure ain't as fine as she tells everybody she is. And that's the New York Knicks. Y'all not that fine. You don't look that damn good. Your ass ain't that fat. It's just not impressing us. We won a fucking NBA championship. And for God's sake, if there's anybody out there that watches this and you got any influence over James Dolan, can you take this motherfucker to a private island during the NBA season and lock his ass up somewhere? Don't let him out. He can come out as soon as the season's over. Just take his phone, no internet, because I'm so afraid of what's going to happen. I'm going to tell y'all now before we leave. This is my real final thought. Man, Knicks ain't even going to make the Eastern Conference Finals. And all hell going to break loose on Broadway. All hell going to break loose on Broadway. I might not be able to do a show for 2 years, man, if that happens. But I'm anyway. Thank y'all for joining us. This is the NGSC Sports NBA podcast. I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks, meaning don't bother me. Don't call me. Don't email me. Don't text me. That bird you keep sending over my house with a note, y'all call it back because I don't want the damn note. But when we come back, we're going to be talking basketball. Now, y'all need to start doing some homework, fellas, because we're going to be talking WNBA basketball. You're going to find out how much knowledge this old man got. I waited 2 years for this league to start. I sat in my living room with my wife and daughter, and we sat there and we didn't move. Goddamn, 25 months we sat in that living room waiting. Yeah, I know my WNBA. We're going to talk some WNBA. By the way, congratulations to the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark last night, defeating the Minnesota Lynx for their first Commissioner Cup championship. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Caitlin Clark effect. Listen, y'all talk all the shit. All the Angel Reese haters, y'all keep on hating. You keep on hating on all you want. This is a rebounding machine. And this girl going out there giving you 17 and 15 a night. Shut up. She's a baller. She still got work to do. She got a funky ass little left-handed shot, but
one thing you forgot to mention, congrats on the expansion for the W2.
Oh, congrats. Oh, Detroit, Toronto, Cleveland. Who else is coming? Toronto, of course, getting their team.
I think Portland's supposed to get one too.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. Remember the website, ngscsports.com, where you catch all of your current content. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Happy 4th of July from NGSC Sports. Happy 4th of July to each one of you. Peace.
Peace out.